Hi, Josh. Good to see you as always. Want to ask you about a couple of your veteran front seven additions, what you think McKinney is going to be able to do for you. I know Flo talked about the fact he can play inside, also play on the edge, and Adam Butler's skill set, what you think he's going to offer you guys.
Well, I think with both players, I think multiplicity is something that comes to mind with both of them. Both of them throughout their career that they've done different things. I would say, McKinney been off the ball, on the ball, inside rush, outside rush. Adam is really played from the nose all the way to, five technique end. So I think there's a lot of versatility with those guys. And we're excited to have them, excited to work with them and, try to, put it together as a collaborative group.
Hal?
Hi, Josh. Obviously, the defense made a big leap last year, finished number 6 in scoring defense. And I'm wondering, given that last year was your first year as a defensive coordinator, what do you plan to change this year, either in your approach to the players or in what we will see on the field?
Well, I think, what we'll see on the field remains to be seen. I think each year you start over. And I would say that, like I said last year, our defense will evolve. What it's going to be, I'm not exactly sure. I know that, the things that we do well, we'll try to implement those as much as we can. And the things that we're not doing well, we'll try to correct those. I don't pay too much stock into, like last year was last year and this year will be this year. And things that you look for is, we need to focus on the day that we have at hand, but knowing that, we need to get off to a good start, and I would say those are the things that, you kind of learned from some things that happened last year and you just try to, make sure that things that didn't go so well, make sure that those don't happen again. And, I'm excited for this year. I'm excited to work and, what our defense will be, or, that's remained to be seen.
Well, when you look at things that maybe didn't go well last year, what might be 1 or 2 points of emphasis for you?
For me personally, look, we need to start fast. I mean, we started the season at 1-3 last year, and we need to get out of the gates. And we've worked very hard this offseason to every team on our schedule is going to be good. So we got to get out the gates, and I would say that's where kind of all my focus has been is have short-term goals like get better today, but with the long term of getting ready for the season, getting ready for training camp, getting ready for voluntary mandatory mini camp. Those are the things that are on my mind, and that's what I look to.
Adam?
Hey, Josh, what did you guys learn from the 2 matchups against the Bills last year, and how much of this offseason has been to get over that next hump, to compete with a team like the Bills that's pretty dynamic offensively?
Yeah, I think, each one of those games was unique. They're very well coached. Brian Dable, he's as good as there is. And they have talented players. They have very good offensive line. They have very good skill players. I would say, the focus for us is on us internally at this point, and trying to get better at things, and that's kind of where our focus is. And obviously, we've looked at all of our opponents for this season, and we looked at everything that we did against them last year, and some things that we think we could do a little bit better and differently. We'll definitely implement those.
We haven't had a chance to talk to you since that finale. Did that game kind of eat at you a little bit and motivate you throughout the offseason?
Yeah, I don't remember who said it, but like whoever said the quote, each time you lose, you die a little bit. I believe that. And I kind of feel that. So, yeah. But I mean, you move on, you move on. It's like anything else. You move on and try to get better from it. So, because like you guys heard me say probably 1,000 times last year, things don't stay the same. You either get better, or you get worse. So you just try to learn from things that don't go your way and try to get better.
We'll go to Travis and then Safid.
Good morning, Coach. Good to speak to you again. Earlier last week, Andrew Van Ginkel had a great analogy about taking care of your own grass and having a do your own job type of mindset. I'm wondering how the process of getting that buy-in across the roster with all the young players, what that process is like for you and the coaching staff.
Well, I think it starts with Flo and Chris. The guys that they bring in are selfless guys. They put the team first. And again, for me personally, I think when you sign up for football, you automatically have signed up for something that's greater than yourself. And I think our players buy into that. I think they believe that. And and I think to get everything coordinated on the field, you got to have all 11 guys on the same page. And, a lot of times, if an interception occurs, there's probably something good that happened in the front. And if, we get a sack or we get pressure, there's probably something good that happened in the back end. And if it's not coordinated, then, that's usually when you see big or explosive plays, which obviously we're trying to eliminate.
Do you think, to follow up on that, do you think that skill set is something you can identify with a player, whether it's college tape or the meetings you have with players in the run up to the draft? Is that something you think you can identify before you get them in the building?
Yeah, to a degree, for sure. I think you can see, what a player's motivation is, and, I think there's a little bit of that for sure. Some of it's unknown. But and the other thing is obviously, when you bring in guys, whether it's free agency or the draft, there's a little bit unknown because the team that they were on is different than the team that you're asking them to be on. So, but like I said, I think Flo and Chris have done a great job with the guys that they bring in. That's not really been a, hey, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Our guys, they pretty much know and understand if they take care of their job and they understand what's going on around them, we usually have success.
Safid, followed by Omar.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. You spoke earlier about the getting out the gate slow last season and mentioned, the Bills just now as well. How much does this process in OTAs and having offseason work with the players allow you to kind of get the install in so they're not seeing it for the first time in training camp like last year, and kind of help you get out the gates a little bit faster?
Yeah, I think, it's an important time of year for us. I think as far as it goes to learning our fundamentals and techniques and learning, our playbook, and also being in, great physical condition. We're blessed with good weather down here, and it makes it a little bit harder than it probably is in some places. So, our guys have opportunities to get out in the heat and work, and, it's a mental and physical thing, but, we're going to try to take advantage of each and every day. And, try to push the installs, try to push the fundamentals and techniques. So we can give ourselves the best opportunity to go out there and start fast.
From a rep standpoint, this defense, it seems more conceptual, right? So when you understand the concepts through the reps that you get week in and week out, you get a better attention from it. Just how valuable do you think the reps are at this time of year?
I think it's extremely valuable. And I think not just for the players, just for the coaches. So when like last time, I don't know, it's been a handful of months since I've coached at all. So like when you step on the field, like, again, you start over. So you're not the same coach that you were at the end of last year. And, you got to get out there, you got to train your eyes, you got to see the game. And I think we ask the players to do the same thing. They got to train their eyes, train their movements to see the game. And I think it's an invaluable time of the year for coaches and players. And again, everything for us is set up to make the most of it. So like, we appreciate the time and we appreciate the work, but it's a necessary evil to be able to go out there and perform at a high level.
Omar.
Good morning, Josh. I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you about your vision for two players. First, I'll start with Benardrick McKinney, the new addition that you guys traded for. How do you see him fitting into that linebacking unit and the versatility that he has? How does it help your defense kind of expand?
Well, I think anytime you could be multiple, it's going to present some problems for the offense. And, I would say our vision for him right now is, to work hard, to understand and learn the playbook and to understand our fundamentals and techniques. And then, when we get out here and we start practicing, build some camaraderie and chemistry as a defense. And we're excited to have him, and we'll see what it can do. And like, we don't really put parameters on like, hey, it can only be this or it can only be that. We'll kind of let the players kind of dictate, what we can and can't do. And he's obviously done a lot of multiple things, so we're excited about that, and hopefully we can get that out of him.
And the final question with Raekwon Davis, you guys got a good glimpse of what he was capable of in the second half of the season last year. Do you see yourself expanding on that role? How can he get himself better? And is he, or do you view him as a nose tackle, or is he more of a defensive tackle, defensive end type?
Well, again, I mean, some of the things that we'll ask him to do, whether it's nose tackle, defensive tackle, and I think he has the ability to do all those things. And I know he's working extremely hard, and you can see him getting better this offseason. And obviously we'll hope that continues. And the more things that, like all of our players, the more that we ask of them to do, just breeds multiplicity. And, when you, like, again, we've talked about this before, but when you line up in the same thing over and over again, I mean, that's usually, the offenses, they're just too good, and they'll find the holes in it. And, we need that ability to be multiple for sure.
Joe.
Hey, Josh, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Hey, in getting to know Jalen Phillips and Javon Holland a little bit before the draft, I assume, and now a little bit in person, can you kind of tell me about some of the commonalities that you've identified from how they approach things off the field and also what they offer on the field?
I would say the similarities is they're both fiercely competitive. They both love football. They're both students of the game. And they're both driven, and for me personally, like a lot of our guys, they're that way. So it's, I'm very fortunate to come into a work environment where you got highly motivated, highly skilled, they're the best at what they do. And, and it's our job to get them better. And, and guys that desire to get better and guys that work at it, that usually trends in that direction. So those are the things that I've seen from them, and, it's been good, and hopefully tomorrow we're better than what we were today, so, and that's kind of the way we approach it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Last question for Josh will be how.
Josh, I have a sense that I know what you're going to say to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Following up a little bit on Jalen Phillips, obviously you guys have him listed at linebacker versus defensive end. What should we read into that? What are some of the things you think he can offer the defense?
I don't know what you should read into it, because I would, we look at players as defensive players, and the more they can do, the more they'll help us. And so call him an end, call him a linebacker, call him a DB if you want. I mean, I think, we'll ask him to learn concepts. We'll try to utilize his abilities. And, ultimately, like, coaching is pretty simplistic when you really get down to it. I mean, it's our job to put the players in position to make plays. It's their job to make plays. And, so, where we can put guys that one, give us team success as, is related to where guys line up as individuals. So, and again, the more multiple they can be, the better off we're going to be.